Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Meg and I'm a fully qualified yoga teacher, a beautician and masseuse. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk a lot about yoga, tips and tricks and things that you guys can follow along from home to strengthen your practice, but also some health and wellness as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, go and hit the subscribe button, and it means every time that I post a video up onto YouTube, you guys get a notification so you never miss a class with me. Today I am going to be doing a post-ab workout stretch. So maybe you've done some HIIT, maybe you've done a HIIT core workout, you've been focusing on those abs. Abs are my favorite thing to train in the gym, but it is important that you stretch them out. I think I said this when I was doing my chest, post-chest workout stretch. I find for me that if I don't stretch like my abs properly afterwards, I can get really like pains in my kind of under my ribs, which are your intercostal muscles. They can kind of lock up and I struggle to breathe. I'm a little bit asthmatic. So when I'm like in somewhere where it's all of a sudden got a bit colder and I'm breathing in that cold air, it can kind of lock everything up. So I really do think it's important to stretch through your abs, to stretch through your chest, to get that kind of movement and to help your muscles to function properly. And also it kind of helps it stops you from getting pulled muscles. And also I'm someone that will train their abs to the point where the next day they're really painful, and it's really important as well when you do stretch after you've done a workout that you then stretch it out, because it helps to stop with DOMS, it helps to stop with that ache at the end, because it helps to get rid of your lactic acid by pumping more oxygen to the muscles, and it helps with detoxification. To do this stretch, you don't really need anything. I always recommend using a good quality mat on a hard surface. If you're in a gym and you haven't got a mat though, not the end of the world. You can use blocks, you can use straps if you want, but it's not a necessity. And when you're ready, we will get started. And this might work your abs a little bit here, but I want you to think about keeping up and tall through the spine and through the hips. We're going to take the arms up above the head and the hands are coming onto the elbows. Think about lifting here. So we're bringing the shoulders up towards the ears. We're going to do a bit of movement here. Deep breath in and exhale as we slowly come all the way around and back up. So exhale to come down, inhale to come up. And as you come up, think about lifting through the body here. We'll do a couple one way. And then we'll go the other way. Long, slow, deep breaths. Inhale, we'll do one more. And all the way up. Let's take the hands, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, take them up towards the ceiling, and think about pushing your chest forward and lifting the arms up. Think about pushing the tailbone back, gazing up towards the ceiling. Send that breath into your chest. Deep breath in. And exhale to come out. You might need to move the shoulders a little bit here. And we're just going to do a little stretch into the back of the neck. I know this is random for a core stretch or for an ab stretch, but because whenever I train my abs, I do sometimes strain the back of my neck. So whilst we're here, whilst we're sitting, we're just going to get a quick stretch into the back of the neck. Place the hands onto the top of the neck base of the skull, interlacing those fingers, keeping tall through the spine and through the hips, and just take the chin into the chest and hug the elbows in towards each other, getting a deep stretch into the back of the neck. And we're only going to hold this for a few breaths, because when you're doing your ab stretches or when you're doing your ab workouts, you shouldn't be creating any tension in the neck. This is just in case. One more breath in. Exhale, we'll take everything out. Rock the head from side to side if you feel like you need to. We're then going to stretch through the side body from here. So instead of moving from one way to the other, which I would normally do, we're going to just hold it each way. So place the right hand down into the mat and bring the left arm all the way up. Think about reaching as if you're trying to grab something and then slowly coming over to the side. So you can stay up onto the hand. You want to make sure both of your butt cheeks are down into the mat. And if you can, keep them down. You can then take the forearm down into the mat. If your bum lifts, just focus on having the hand into the mat. Again, like I said, we're stretching through the side body here. So we're stretching through that left hand. Think about reaching over towards the side. Think about trying to grab something over towards the right hand side with your left hand. Breathing here. You should feel a good stretch all the way down the side of your tummy, into the hip maybe as well, all the way into the armpit, across the hands. Hips are quite a good place to stretch after you've done abs too, because depending on what you've done, but you probably will be shortening the muscle and using your hip flexors to work your abs anyway, especially if you're doing things like crunches or straight leg crunches. You'll be working your hip muscles as well. We'll take another deep breath in. Exhale, let's come up. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So your left hand comes down, right arm comes all the way up and over. Again, imagine you're stretching and you're reaching for something, and that's what's going to create that nice stretch across the side of the tummy. If you can keep your butt bones down, you can then take the forearm down into the mat, reaching over, getting that stretch across the body. Breathing here. Try and think about pulling the shoulder back rather than letting it roll forwards. This is a stretch into the tummy, not into the back. So as soon as you start leaning forwards, that stretch will shift into your lower back. So think about pulling the shoulder up and back towards the ceiling and reaching over towards the left side, stretching through the hand. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Exhale, let's come back up. So you should feel like you've had a good stretch into the side of the abs or into the obliques. We're now going to come onto our all fours and start stretching through the midsection, so where your actual abs are. Let's come into a tabletop. Hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. We're going to come into a puppy pose from here. So think about lifting the tailbone. We'll walk the hands out and in front. Lift the tailbone a little bit more. Keep your hips anchored over your knees. Keep walking the hands away, and you want to make sure that your hands are shoulder width apart, so they're not too far out and they're not too close together. We want them to be a shoulder width apart. If you've got a yoga block, you can actually pop it in between the hands, and that is the perfect distance that your hands need to be. Slowly start to bring the chest down, and think about trying to rotate your elbows to face the mat. So instead of them being out to the side, you want to externally rotate your shoulders and take the elbows down into the mat, spreading through the hands, lifting the tailbone up high. We're getting a stretch here. So this is also going to stretch across the shoulders and the chest, but think about lifting your tailbone to give you more of a stretch here. Again, just slowly breathing. We won't hold this one for as long because it's not a deep ab stretch. So we'll do one more breath in. As you breathe out, your elbows should be down into the mat. If they're not, just lift up slightly and take them down. And we're going to wriggle the weight forwards so that you're coming down onto your tummy. Your hands are then coming down into the mat. We're going to come into our Sphinx pose from here. So you want to make sure that your hands are directly in line with your elbows, and your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. So you'll know if your hands are in the right place because you'll be able to hold your elbows with your hands and then place them out and in front. We're rolling the shoulders back and down, pushing the chest forwards and just taking the chin in towards the chest. You should feel a really good stretch across the chest and across the abs here. Think about stretching through the hands, placing them down into the mat and pushing your hands into the mat. So you're kind of pulling the floor towards you and pushing your chest away from you. Breathing here. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Keep your shoulder blades squeezed together. You can always rock the head from side to side here as well, if you want a bit more of a stretch across the neck, especially if you've been using your neck muscles a lot in your ab workout. Just focus on relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, squeezing the shoulder blades together, pushing the chest forwards and trying to pull your hands in towards you. We'll take a deep breath in and exhale to come down. Now, if that felt enough for you and you felt like there was enough on your back, enough pressure through the arms, through the abs, just stick to doing that Sphinx pose again. But if not, we've got 2 different variations just to get a little bit more of a stretch through the abs. So your next option is to take the hands into the corners of the mat. If you suffer with lower back pain, take the feet wider. If not, just keep them in together. Squeezing the shoulders back and down, so you're down here. And then we're lifting all the way up into seal pose. Pushing the chest forward, maybe gazing either forwards or up towards the ceiling. Thinking about pushing the chest forwards rather than trying to lift up through the body. This is about getting a stretch into the abs. It's not about getting a stretch into the back. Push that chest forward, and again you can take the hands into the mat and think about pulling the floor and the mat or the hands in towards you. Engaging, squeezing the shoulder blades, shoulders are down away from the ears, the chest is being pushed forwards and the hands are being pulled towards you. This is option number 2. Again, maybe this feels good enough for you. If you want a little bit more, we can take this into a full cobra. So we're taking the hands down so they're underneath your shoulders and we're pushing up through the mat. Think about, again, pushing the chest forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And it's not about how far back you can go, it's about pushing your chest forwards. We're aiming for an ab stretch here. Breathing here, you can gaze forward, or as long as you can keep the brow soft, you can start to gaze up towards the ceiling. Spread through the hands, whichever position you're in, Sphinx, Seal, or Cobra. Deep breath in. And exhale, let's take the chest down. Let's bring the legs together regardless of where you are and just come into a child's pose. So we're just going to stretch out the back a little bit here because you will inevitably have stretched the back. Take the chin in towards the knees, arms out in front. Think about sending your breath in towards the lower back. So you're expanding through the lower back as you breathe in. And when you're ready, we'll come back into a seated position. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you found it helpful and I hope you found some benefit from it. Ab stretches, like I said, super important. It will help stop that pain the next day. And then it means you can kind of, from like my opinion, it means you can train the abs more because the amount of times I train my abs, I do a really intense session, wake up the next day and they're so painful and then I can't actually train them again. But I love training my abs. If I could, I would train them every single day. I pretty much do, to be fair, just because I enjoy doing it and it makes me feel really strong. And having a strong core and having strong abs helps you in your yoga so much more because you're able to do things like hold boat pose. You can hold poses for longer because you're squeezing, you're able to hold that squeeze and that strength. It helps with balancing postures as well. So training abs, super important. Stretching abs after you've worked them out, really important. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, please share, comment, whatever you can do. Send super thanks. It honestly means the absolute world to me. It really, really does. I have so many exciting things coming forward on this channel, and the more support I get, the quicker I can make this stuff happen. So thank you so much if you have already been supporting me, liking, sharing, commenting. It really does mean everything to me. And yeah, if you're going to, thank you in advance. And I look forward to practicing with you all again soon. Thanks. Bye.